anybody else.
Like I can't go in and take Gammy's money out of the bank.
And I couldn't get your mom and daddy's money out.
But how do you know which money is yours?
Because they have they kind of like have a piece of paper and they write down, when I give them money, they write down how much I gave them, and then they keep adding it up every time I give them more. And so when I go to get money, I tell them, they look at my piece of paper and they see how much I have. And if I don't have enough, they say, I'm sorry, you don't have that much. But usually I don't ask for more than I have, because I keep up with how much I have.
But how do they know that the money is yours? How do you know if it's black or shiny? If it's
black or shiny?
Yeah. If it's if they're old pennies or if they're shiny pennies.
Well,
you mean the specific money, like Gammy goes in there with 5 pennies and I go in with 5 pennies. How do they know whose pennies?
I don't get the same pennies back. I just get the same number of pennies. Like they put all the pennies together, but like if I gave them 5 pennies, they just put them like in wherever they put them, some kind of container. And then when I go in and I say I need 5 pennies, then they just count out 5 pennies. But I don't necessarily get the same 5 pennies back.
Because they have big jars. Like I have a big jar and I put all my money inside it.
Right.
Just like Mommy and Daddy.
They don't use jars, but they use something to keep it in.
But Mommy and Daddy have jars. I have a jar. Then we put our money inside it.
Didn't your daddy just give you some shiny pennies today?
And you can put them in your jar. But then if I said, Annabelle, can I have 5 pennies? Then you could get any of the 5 pennies out of your jar, right?
Or I could just give you the shiny pennies G-Daddy gave me.
You could if
I wanted the same ones, yeah.
Or I could just give you 5. Then I could give you some more shiny pennies that there's only 4 shiny pennies.
And sometimes I go to the bank and I ask them for brand new dollar bills. Instead of shiny pennies, I want the dollar. You know what a dollar bill is? You know, the paper money that we give them, the green paper money. Well, and if I want to give somebody a gift, I don't want to give them an old crumpled up dollar bill. So I asked the bank to give me brand new ones that had never been used before.
But why sometimes do you put them in our tanks that are at home?
Instead of the bank? Why do you sometimes put money in the tanks instead of in the bank? It probably depends on how much money it is. And if Gammy wants to give you money, then she lets you put it in your tank instead of putting it in the bank.
Because I don't know where the bank is.
Do you know why we put the money in our jar in our room? You know, the one you help us use? That's usually because those are the pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters that end up in Daddy's pockets. He goes to pay for something with $1, and then what he's buying doesn't cost a whole $1, so they give him change back. And then he puts that change in his pocket, and then when he comes home, he empties out his pocket, and then we put it in the thing, in the jar. And you know that jar counts it.
But why sometimes do you usually just sometimes just put your money just in the tank, but not in your home tank? You put it at the bank.
How do you decide whether to keep it at home or take it to the bank?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how much it is, usually.
Because
remember Gammy said it was safer. Like, the money we have in our jar in there is only $27. But the money we have in the bank is a lot more than $27.
And when I was working, and after I worked, however long it was, every 2 weeks, instead of them paying me and giving me my money in my hand, they put the money in the bank for me. And then when I got ready to use it, then I go and get however much I want of it.
But what about if you just think if you could put, if you might want to put your money in the tank that's at home?
In the tank? Do you mean
The bank?
the
piggy bank?
piggy bank?
No, your bank that's at home. Like
Mhm.
my
The
tank.
jar.
Your big jar?
You could put it in your jar
Mm-hmm.
or tank. If you have a tank or jar, you could put it in the jar or the tank that's at your home, or you could just put it at the bank that has something to put your money.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
You could do
You
either
can
one.
do it that way.
When you get older and you have a little bit more money in your jar, then we'll go to the bank and we'll set you up with an account, is what they call it, a bank account.
But why
And then it'll be your money in the bank.
But why do you set up people for the bank?
Why do you set it up? For the same reason we talked about, so that you can keep your money safe.
Because they keep it locked up and won't let anybody get to it.
So when you
except
get bigger and you
But
have more money, we can
What
put some
about
of your money in
if
the
the
bank.
people steal the people so that they could get the key?
Well, then they have to go to jail if they get caught. If they do that, they're not allowed to steal the
But
money.
what about accident? Maybe they accidentally brought the mans that did the money,
Mm-hmm.
the tank money things, but how do the mans keep the bad guys in jail and they get the good guys out of jail? How do they do that?
The bad guys are usually locked in a jail cell. It's like a cage where there's bars in front of them so they can't get out. And they're stuck in there.
The bank has cameras and sensors, like you know how we have the monitor so we can see Ethan's room? That's like what they have at the bank. So even if somebody's not at the bank, they can still watch to make sure nobody's trying to sneak in and take something.
But how do the mean guys get the persons inside, but when you lock the door, they can't get inside, or they can?
Well, they'd have to break in. They'd have to, do a bad thing and break into the building
Or
if they wanted to take
if
the
they
money.
could get their
And they
can-
might hurt the people. Are you talking about how do they get
Yeah,
past the
they
people?
can- or they can take their key and,
That's
and
right.
unlock the door, and they can get inside to get the people.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the same key as the other person, they can't get in.
That's right.
That's right, and that's why you put it in the bank, because then only the bank has the key, so that the other people can't get your
So
money.
when you leave the key to open your car in your house, inside the house.
Yeah, you don't leave it in the car because then somebody could come and drive off with your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we bring it inside
But
so they can.
They can't open the door unless they have the key that's inside the car.
Well, that's inside the house. Because we keep our car key inside the house, right?
And when
But-
she goes in the store, she puts it in her wallet or her purse.
Or
She
If-
carries the key in with her.
let's say if you were at Target and you gave some money to the man who take care of Target and he didn't have money to take that thing. So then you went to the bank, you got some money, then you went back to Target and you gave him your money that you got from the tank, but you can't take the money that that's at the tank. Unless you gave them some money, and then you can go back and get the money.
Right.
But you can't get it. You can't get it unless you go to the bank and give it.
Yeah,
Get
so
money there.
like if I get paid on Friday, the place where I work, instead of giving me the money, they send it to the bank and they let me know. They say, okay, we put your paycheck in your bank. And then on Monday, if I need to go to the grocery store,
Then
I can go to the bank and say, I need some of my money. And I can get the money. Or I can use a credit card, which means it's a card that's got my name on it. And that lets the bank know that I'm using, it's the same thing as using my money.
Oh, but why? But sometimes why do you just take a credit card instead of money?
So that I don't have to carry around money.
You don't just have to go in your car and carry money around.
But that's why I don't have to go. I don't have to go to the bank so often. I don't have to go to the bank to get the money. I can just let them swipe that card, and that lets the people at the bank know that that's how much money I need. For them to, they give it to the store for me.
What kind of store do they give it to?
Wherever I'm shopping. It might be Target, or it might be Publix,
Or
Walmart.
Or can they get it? Can you give it to the library?
You don't usually give the library money, but
They have a library card, but it's not.
yeah.
But you can just give a little bit of money to the library.
Yeah, sometimes if you keep a book too long, they charge you money. They make you pay some money because you kept the book too long. And then you would have to give, or if you lose a book, you might have to pay for it. And then you'd have to give the library money.
So now do you understand money?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Good.
But I might not remember that.
Now you seem to be remembering a whole lot.
But I don't remember everything.